Incredibowl in Overland-Park, Kansas. As Steve-Hoskins now going through his routine. Started off with a strike, then a spare, now 3 in a row. He is up by 21 over Walter Ray Williams Jr. here in the semifinal match.
And believe me, he knows he's bowling Walter Ray, and there's a big difference when you're bowling the best. And that's the best shot he's thrown the entire tournament.
So Hoskins with 7 PBA titles, 11 regional titles. 4 in a row, up in the 7th frame. Wants the crowd to get going. There you see the score, up by 31.
No stranger to strings of strikes. He shot 300 on October 15th, 97 in Rochester. So 4 in a row, that's not going to intimidate Steve-Hoskins. Just make him hungry for more.
Well, the 2-pin, but the 8 wanted to stand, went down.
There's the opening for Walter Ray. Ball's going to come in light. Not enough of the head pin. 2-pin, the only one standing. Shouldn't be any problem for Steve-Hoskins. Hard and straight.
He's had 2 back-to-back solid seasons out here on tour, and picks up the single-pin spare.
Disappointed with the delivery. You know, when you're locked in like that, you've got 4 strikes in a row, you're bowling the best player in the world. You don't want to give him any chance at all. Well, right now, Walter, this is your chance. A double here to take it to a 20-pin lead. Yes! Here comes Mr. Money.
Let me ask you, earlier today, Hoskins and Walter Ray involved in the Reichert Cup. Does that have an effect on a player?
Well, as we take a look at a solid shot from Walter Ray Williams, I think that could only help the fact that they bowled earlier today in the Reichert Cup. It kept them, got them loose early. But it is a different pair of lanes they're bowling on now. And there's a solid 10 for Walter Ray on the shot that would have brought him within 10 pins. I'll tell you, those solid 10s, they take your momentum and they just put a stop to it.
As you can see, the week went very well for Walter, starting out 5th after the opening round, crept up to that top spot, and then fell down to 2nd for the TV finals. Picks up the 10-pin. I'd like to know the last time he missed a single-pin spare.
Well, I don't know. I watch him bowl every week. I can't remember.
May have been in the league like 20 years ago. Steve-Hoskins knows that this match is his. Should he continue to pound the pocket, he is up 21 in the 8th frame.
Now Walter Ray, 228, the best he can bowl. Hoskins now working at 229. Now Hoskins working at a 228 pace, so there's a little bowling left to be done. I'm sure Walter does the math a lot faster than I do. It's going to be the 6th pin that's going to lay in the channel. It's not going to come back up to get the 10.
Hoskins picks up the 10-pin as both bowlers now head into the 9th frame here in the semifinal match of the Brunswick World Tournament of Champions. And Mike Durbin, the only player to win this tournament 3 times. And Jim Godman a couple of times, Dave Davis, Earl Anthony, and Mark Williams, and Marshall Holmes.
Who's that guy?
And you had a great week this week, Marshall, finishing 22nd. Nice to get out there bowling with the guys again.
It was fun to get a little different insight to what they're really doing out there.
Another 10-pin. Not over.
Certainly not. And a shot that was very important. That would have held the count, kept him at a 20-pin lead. Now it's down to 19. Walter Ray Williams, after Steve hopefully converts this, will try and strike out. If he does strike out, he'll force Hoskins to double in the 10th.
Picks up the 10-pin. Hoskins won PBA major to his credit, the 97 Bayer Brunswick Touring Players Championship. Walter Ray, 228, should he strike here in the 9th and go off the sheet.
Well, first things first, Phil, right here. Very important, very important. And a 10-pin for Walter Ray.
Man.
That frustration is the fact that he liked it off his hand. But once again, there's our friend, the 6-pin that's being lazy in the channel. Doesn't come out. And he makes a spare, and best Walter Ray can do, 217. If he does, he'll force Hoskins to at least show up in the 10th frame. But right now, it's looking more and more as if it's going to be Hoskins and Goebel.
You know, a lot of people say, well, how can the greatest player in the game struggle? He struggled a little bit last week and again this week, but he's hitting the pocket.
Well, he's hitting the pocket. He's having trouble carrying. It's a fickle game. There, he finally strikes. He's certainly not giving up. He knows there are stranger things that can happen than to have a man open in the 10th frame to give you a match.
Come on, you different.
Did he move a bit on that last shot? It looked like the entry into the pocket just a bit different.
He may have stepped a little bit further to the left to try and delay the roll of the ball. From our vantage point, it was a little difficult to tell.
Nothing wrong with that shot.
Oh, he's a great shot maker, Phil. You know, he's shaking his hands right now, shaking his head, going, well, you got it. I made the shots I wanted to make. I threw the ball right where I wanted to. I couldn't knock him down.
Once again this week, Pete Weber, along with Tito Semez, inducted into the Hall of Fame Monday night, and Walter Ray Williams Jr. inducted back in 1995 as he leaves.
And then a solid 8. But that's enough. 9 pins. That forces Steve-Hoskins to throw any kind of a mark in the 10th frame. Strike or a spare. And I could tell you right now, in this situation, you don't want to shoot any spare. And you just want to strike and get the darn match over with.
As Steve takes his second re-rack. And I was going to ask you, is it easier for a player to get up and needing a spare or needing a strike?
Well, I think it's easier to make a good shot when you need to throw a strike. When you just need to throw a spare, sometimes you can get a little careful. And if you get yourself careful on these kind of lanes, you can be in big trouble. Now, Steve's been bowling well in his matches, so I should think he'd make a good shot, but
Steve's son trying to get a little bit better vantage point.
A lot riding right here.
A solid 10-pin.
Good shot. If he misses it, 215. If he makes it, all he needs to do is keep the ball on the lane. So needs to make this spare and get 1 pin on his fill. The 1 pin's easy. This 10-pin could be difficult. And I guarantee you, the man was nervous. I was nervous for him. I know that situation, as his family approves. When you're in the 10th frame, you've got 1 spare to make it to the title.
Let me ask you, he's checking with an official over there, but you really want to know what you need.
Oh, absolutely. You want to be very, very certain. High and hard.
Straight, gets a strike. Steve-Hoskins going to take on the hometown hero, Brian Goebel. And we'll have that match coming up after this.